And the last game of the weekend, which may
we got
rival.
two left. We got two.
What did I miss? Oh, yeah, we did miss that. Okay, let's go to that one. This is a 7:30 game on SEC Network. Missouri 5-1 at number 24 Kentucky, who is also 5-1. Kentucky a 2.5-point favorite, total 52.5. Devin Leary was awful last week. He's been pretty bad all year, but particularly last week, 10 of 26 for 128 yards against Georgia in that beatdown. In SEC games to date, he's completing only 46% of his passes. LSU or Missouri, obviously coming off the heartbreaker to LSU after being up 22-7 in that game. They end up losing by 10. You and I are all in on Brady Cook and Luther Burden at this point. I saw that Eli Drinkwitz said Cody Schrader is listed as, quote, questionable at best for this game.
Oh, no.
I hope he plays because he had a great game against LSU. He's up to almost 600 yards rushing, 6 touchdowns on the season. He does have a strained quad muscle, so we'll see if he plays. But that Kentucky defense in the passing game has not been good this year. They got torched by Georgia last week, and now Brady Cook and Luther Burden enter the chat. And what does Brad White, Kentucky defensive coordinator, have for that passing attack? Missouri hasn't won in Lexington since 2013. It's been 10 years.
Yeah.
Kentucky, they do rank in the top 30 of limiting explosive plays through the air and on the ground. And Missouri's offense is basically predicated on generating big plays. Through both the air and the ground. Weirdly enough, if you look at explosive offense metrics, Kentucky is one of the most explosive offenses in the country.
Yeah.
Down and down, they're pretty pedestrian. Good news for Kentucky. Missouri has a knack of giving up big plays, and Kentucky is second in rushing explosive plays, 24th in passing explosive plays, 50th or worse in all other efficiency metrics.
Yeah.
I'll take Kentucky to win this in a nail-biter, 35-33, high scoring. But I think Kentucky gets it done at home. Missouri can't win in Lexington. You just don't walk into Kroger Field and come out easily with a victory.
The Kroger toes. Let me tell you something right now. You're right. And Kroger Field is a very underrated environment. I think it'll be electric this weekend. I think this is a big game. Like I joked around earlier about the South Carolina-Florida game. I think this is to be honest, okay. Give me a second. Let me gather my thoughts here. A&M, Tennessee, much bigger thing nationally, right? Like, because of those two brands, not even where the two teams are. UCLA and Oregon State, those are 2 ranked teams. Obviously, Washington and Oregon, massive game. And then you talk about Notre Dame and USC, which we'll get to next. This is, I think, a top 2 or 3 game in the country this weekend, and it means a lot of who's going to finish where. I don't know why my voice is so loud. Kentucky has beaten Mizzou 7 of the last 8 years, and it's always in some horrific fashion. It seems like some kind of dumb shit always happens to Mizzou in this game. There was like the play, I think it was 2019, when there's a blatant pass interference call that's gifted to Mizzou. I think they got and then the next play, it's like offensive pass interference. They didn't give it back to them. I think they lost by 1 point or something crazy. If you're looking at this game, because whoever wins this game, I think firmly finishes second in the SEC East, which is a big deal this year, right? Like this is a New Year's Day Bowl team. I think whoever wins this game.
And Missouri still has to play Georgia, so you never know. I mean,
right. And I will say this though, this is always a close game. You're right about Mizzou; they have not been able to win. You think about 2013 and 2014; those are the 2 years that Mizzou won the division. And outside of those years, like I said, 7 of 8. Like they have been dominated in this rivalry, and they've struggled against teams like that Stoops has put out in the past that are physical and run the football first and all that kind of stuff. Here's where I'm at with it, though. If you were talking about 2 teams that are coming into this game in the most similar spot, like they're both coming off a loss, but they had high hopes going into it, and all of that stuff sounds very similar to each other, right? I don't think these 2 teams are anywhere close to being in the same mental place as they should be coming into this game. And what I mean by that is, if you're Mizzou and you're looking at that LSU game, You blew a 15-point lead. You lost at home. You had every chance to win that game, and your defense couldn't do it. And then, even worse, Brady Cook finally came back down to earth, threw a pick six to end the game. And all this kind of stuff comes down shattering, and your perfect season, the undefeated start is gone. That's so different than a Kentucky team going on the road against mighty Georgia, where you think we're 5-0. We got Liam Cohen back. We've actually fared pretty well and kept these games close in this rivalry. And last time we were here, it was Will Levis had one of the best games of his career. We've got Devin Leary. He could step up. I mean, I saw Kentucky fans, and this has nothing to do with the game, but I saw Kentucky fans with a lot of confidence going into last week, and I'm sure that the team did too. What is your mental, I don't say health, but what is your confidence going into this game after you just got fucking skull dragged by 38? Because it can't be good. Right. And again, I have no problem with what Mark Stoops said about getting players and all that kind of stuff. And I think Mark Stoops is a tremendous coach, and he's been really great at this program. I think he's a better coach than Eli Drinkwitz. I think that they play a better brand of football consistently since time he's been there, and especially for what the SEC, what is involved in being a successful team in the SEC. I don't know what they have in this game, because I watched that secondary get torched last week by Carson Beck in Georgia. And I'm not saying that this is Carson Beck in Georgia, but man, you look at Mizzou, and they've got one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC, statistically speaking, through half the season. And then statistically speaking, they have the best receiver in the country. So I got Mizzou. I think Mizzou's a better team, and I think this means more to them. And I hate to say it, because I think these are two programs I think everyone casually will pull for, but I like Mizzou to go in and get a win and keep their season going, because I think they're a better football team right now. I got Mizzou. Hold on, let me think here. What's the total?
The total is 52.5.
Ooh, I got Mizzou 27-21.
Okay.